One question that most investors ask me, both before and after a budget. Before a budget is what will this budget do for me? And after the budget is what has this budget done for me? Effectively, budgets have stopped doing great things for the ordinary investor. They raise your limits in line with inflation. They put more money in your hands so that you can spend. They give you allowances to save, like for your pension plan, or to increase your long-term savings, like in the form of ATC. Besides these things, budgets don't really do much good to the individual investor. On an institutional level or at an economic level also, budgets can't really do much to corporates. For example, the tax rates are already planned to move in a certain trajectory. There is a plan that the finance minister has already given last year. So in direct taxes, there can be no great wonders. As far as indirect taxes are concerned, you already know that the country is waiting to have GST. The best case scenario before GST comes is that the service tax will be aligned to what the government thinks is going to be the GST rate. So you could see service taxes probably go up to 16%. So what can the finance minister really do in the budget that can make you have positive expectations on the economic future? One thing that finance ministers have always struggled to do over the past 12 years is to find investment allocations, especially for capital expenditure. Our revenue expense is so high that all our taxes go towards just running our government and maintaining our welfare expenses. But this finance minister will possibly find enough money for capital expenditure. He has no option. The reasons are simple. Today, private corporations are already borrowed to the hilt. They do not have the ability to borrow more money. In fact, big private companies have to repay money now before they can borrow anymore. This effectively has brought the capex cycle to a standstill. So if the capex cycle has to again start growing, we need big spending or big investing by the government. So one should look out for capital expenditure in the region of 1.5 to 2 lakh crore from the government. In addition to this, the government should labor to create investment vehicles which can raise public capital and ensure that this money is spent in creating public assets in a time-bound manner. Specifically, we should see if the government is able to raise good sums of money. When I say good sums, it is something in the region of 1 lakh or 2 lakh crores, and channel this money to investments in infrastructure. If one or both of these things happen, I think that would be a huge positive for the budget. Another thing that markets will be looking for is a signal as to how the government is going to manage its big bill on account of the pay commission. One more aspect which the markets are keen, and I am particularly keen to see, is how this government takes the policy initiatives forward with respect to plugging leaks in welfare spending and in subsidy transfers. I do not expect government to reduce allocations to these sectors, but this money that is channeled towards these sectors should be spent wisely and should reach beneficiaries. I am reminded of the words of the late Rajiv Gandhi, who said that 100 rupees spent in the welfare of our people only translates into 15 rupees by the time it reaches the beneficiary. If this budget does something that will ensure that all the money or most of it that is intended to help the socially needy reaches them, I think the markets will give a thumbs up to that, because The fact that a government is moving towards plugging leaks and decisively tightening its governance will be a huge positive to the stock markets. That is my principal expectation from this government in the budget.